Club de Fútbol Monterrey is a Mexican football club from Monterrey, Nuevo León. Founded on 28 June 1945, it is the oldest active team in the professional division from the northern part of Mexico, and currently play in the Liga MX. The club is owned by FEMSA, Latin America's largest bottling company. Home games are played in the Estadio BBVA Bancomer since August 2, 2015, where they inaugurated the stadium with a 3-0 win over S.L.Benfica. The club has enjoyed success in recent years, winning 4 league titles in 1986, 2003, 2009 and 2010. A Copa Mexico in 1991, and winning 3 straight CONCACAF Champions League tournaments in 2011, 2012 and 2013, being the only North American team along with Cruz Azul to have successfully defended the trophy 3 times. The team is commonly known as the Rayados due to the club's traditional navy blue striped uniform, reflected in the club's current crest, which is also decorated with stars above representing the club's league titles and stars below representing continental titles. In terms of overall performance, it is the best Mexican club at the FIFA Club World Cup, with a 4th place ranking in the all-time table. The club's oldest rival is Tigres UANL of the Autonomous University of Nuevo León, against whom the local derby, known as the Clásico Regiomontano, is played every season. It is known for being one of the most intense and competed derbies in Mexican football, and is widely regarded as the most important Mexican derby after the Clásico Nacional. History: 1940s-50s. At the end of World War II, a group of industrial businessmen headed by Ramon Cárdenas Coronado, Enrique Ayala Medina, Paul C. Probert, Rogelio Cantu Gomez and Miguel Margan Zozaya, decided to create the Club de Fútbol Monterrey. The team's nickname was popularly accepted after the team's uniform, which is traditionally white with navy blue vertical stripes. Although the original uniform was white with a diagonal blue upper shoulder, the stripes were inspired in 1965, when the Tampico Madero football team wore them, and the Monterrey team adopted them. Since the home uniform consists of vertical blue and white striped jerseys with blue shorts. In its first professional game, played the 19th of August 1945 against San Sebastián de León, Monterrey won 1-0, with José J. Gómez scoring the winner. The joy quickly came to an end, first by losing 6-0 to Montezuma, and then having the club's traveling bus involved in a tragic accident in the San Juan de los Lagos roads that would take the lives of many of the club's players and had a big impact on the surviving players. The other Mexican clubs in solidarity loaned players to Monterrey in order to continue playing the tournament, but the club struggled nevertheless, losing 21 games in a row and allowing in 121 goals that year, finishing last in the league. Due to these events, the club decided to stop playing in the league in 1946 in honor to the players who died. It was not until 1952 when the club resumed action thanks to Dr. Carlos Canseco, president of the Asociación de Fútbol de Nuevo León. The club enrolled in the 2nd division, and just 4 years later the club earned a promotion to the top division. Once again the joy was short-lived. When the club finished last in the first year back and was relegated once again to the 2nd division after finishing with a record of 4 wins, 7 draws and 13 losses for a total of 15 points, just one short of Zacatepec, who kept the category. The club would once again earn the promotion in the 1959-60 tournament, which they have held to date. 1960s. The club started started off the 1960s in bad shape, just avoiding relegation with 3 more points than Club Celaya. The club finished the 1960-61 tournament with a record of 7 wins, 7 draws, 12 losses for a total of 21 points. In the 1961-62 tournament, the club came close to relegation, finishing second to last from the second year in Aro, just ahead of Zacatepec, who would now lost the category. The club had a record of 7 wins, 5 draws and 15 losses for a total of 19 points. In the 1962-63 tournament, the club finally managed to have a successful year in the first division, finishing 5th in the league, 2 points behind C.D. Oro, that year's champions, who finished with the league's best 36 points. That year record was 8 wins, 12 draws and only 6 losses for a total of 28 points. In the 1963-64 tournament, the club would finish 3rd in the league, just 5 points behind Club Guadalajara, who would have a league best 37 points. That year record was 12 wins, 8 draws, 6 losses for a total of 32 points. In the 1964-65 tournament, the club would once again finish 3rd in the league, this time just 3 points behind Club Guadalajara, who won its 2nd consecutive league title with 40 points. This year's record was 17 wins, 3 draws and 10 losses for a total of 37 points. In the 1965-66 tournament, the club finished tied for 4th in the league with Club Atlante with 33 points. This year is also remembered for Club Nuevo León promotion to the first division, having for the first time 2 clubs from Monterrey participating in the first division. This year record was 13 wins, 7 draws and 10 losses for a total of 33 points. In the 1966-67 tournament, the club fell back into mediocrity, finishing tied for 8th in the league with Irapuato with 30 points each. This year record was 10 wins, draws and losses for a total of 30 points. In the 1967-68 tournament, the club continued its descent, finishing tied for 14 in the league with C.D. Oro. The year record was 6 wins, 9 draws and 15 losses for a total of 21 points. In the 1968-69 tournament, the club finished tied for 10th place in the league with Pachuca. This year is also remembered for Club Nuevo León's relegation after the club finished tied for last place with C.D. Oro, both with 21 points. A playoff series was held where after 3 matches C.D. Oro managed to maintain its category. This year record was 10 wins, 8 draws and 12 losses for a total of 28 points. In the 1969-70 tournament, the club closed this decade tied for 9th place along with Atlante, both with 28 points. This year record was 9 wins, 10 draws and 11 losses for a total of 2 points. The 1960s saw the club fight for the title as well to maintain the category. 1970s. In the 1970s, the tournament was split into 2 short tournaments due to the 1970 World Cup that was taking part in Mexico for the first time. The club was placed in Group 1, where they managed to finish 2 with 17 points, 1 less than group leader Toluca. In the second part of the tournament, the club finished 7th. The following year, Monterrey finished runner-up to Club America, who went on to win the league title that year against Toluca. In the 1971-72 tournament, the club would qualify to the playoff, which had been introduced a few years back. The club would lose in quarter-finals to Club America 2-1 in aggregated time. The following year the club failed to qualify, finishing tie for fifth with Veracruz and Guadalajara each with 32 points. In the 1973-74 tournament the club managed to qualify the quarter-finals, where they once again were eliminated, this time by Atlético Español, who beat them 5-6 in aggregated time. The following year the club failed to qualify to the playoffs, finishing third in Group 2 with a record of 15 wins, 14 draws, losing 9 for a total of 44 points, 2 points fewer than Unión de Curtidores, who qualified. In the 1975-76 tournament the club finished in first place with a total of 44 points by means of 16 wins, 12 draws and 10 losses. In quarter-finals the club played Cruz Azul, who they managed to beat 7-2 in aggregated time, scoring 5 goals in the first match and 2 more in the second, winning both games. In semi-finals the club played Guadalajara, who eliminated them with a score of 2-3 in aggregated time. During 1975 the Portuguese superstar Eusebio played for the club. For the 1976-77 tournament the club failed to qualify, finishing fourth in Group 2 with 32 points by means of 10 wins, 12 draws, losing 16 games. For the 1977-78 tournament the club once again fell short and did not qualify, finishing fourth in Group 2 with 38 points, just 6 shy of crosstown rival Tigres UANL, who won its first league title. In the 1978-79 tournament the club once again qualified to the playoffs, finishing first in Group 1 with a total of 40 points by means of 14 wins, 12 draws, losing 12. This time a short tournament was played by the best 8 teams in the league, who were then split into 2 groups. Monterrey was placed in Group 2 along with Pumas UNAM, Tigres UANL and Zacatepec. After 6 rounds of play the club finished in third place with 6 points by means of 1 win, 4 draws, losing just 1 match. Just 2 points behind Pumas UNAM, who went on to lose to Cruz Azul, who had won the other group. In the 1979-80 tournament the club finished third in Group 1 with 34 points with a record of 9 wins, 16 draws, losing 16 games, scoring 40 goals and allowing 50. The decade came to an end with Club Monterrey having title to show for all their efforts, qualifying a couple times but failing to win the first league title. 1980s. On the 1st of March 1986, the Rayados won the first title in the return leg of a series against Tampico Madero in the Estadio Tecnológico during the well-known Torneo PRODE 86, to win by an aggregate 3-2. The goals were scored by Brazilian Reinaldo Geldani, a Mexican Francisco Javier Cruz, who finished the season as the league leader in goals. For many years the team's logo did not show the star for this title. 1990s. At the beginning of the decade Monterrey signed 2 notable players, Carlos Hermosillo and Manuel Negrete, for the 1990-91 season. The next season they won the first Copa MX after defeating CD Juarez 4-2 at home in the Estadio Tecnológico, and then went on to reach the final of the 1992-93 season before losing to Atlante FC. While the early years of the decade seemed promising for the team, the latter half of the decade would prove to be a disappointing one, as financial problems started to appear, and in 1999 the team was facing a fierce relegation battle against Puebla, culminating in May 9, 1999. Both teams faced each other at the Estadio Tecnológico to decide which team would get relegated. Monterrey only needed a draw to stay in the Primera Division, and with a memorable performance from Francisco Javier El Abuelo Cruz, who had played a vital part in Monterrey's first title win back 13 years before, Monterrey managed to draw 1-1 and stay in the Mexican Primera Division 21st century. In 2002, Monterrey hired coach Daniel Passarella and started to form a strong and competitive side featuring the likes of Guillermo Franco, Walter Urviti, Jesus Arellano and Luis Perez, and at the Clausura 2003 they won the second title. In the semi-finals they faced their arch-rivals Tigres for the first time ever in a Liga. In the first leg they won 4-1 at the Estadio Universitario, and despite losing 2-1 at the home ground in the second leg, they managed to advance to the finals with an aggregate victory of 5-3. On the 14th of June 2003 they defeated Monaco's Morelia by an aggregate of 3-1, to claim the second title after 17 years. Passarella left in 2004, and afterwards Monterrey hired Miguel Herrera to be the head coach. He led them to the finals of the Apertura 2004 but lost against Club Universidad Nacional by an aggregate of 3-1. He would lead them to the finals again in the Apertura 2005 tournament before losing to Deportivo Toluca FC by an aggregate of 6-3. After that loss, Guillermo Franco left the club to play for Spanish club Villarreal CF, and Herrera would remain the head coach until 2007 when he was fired after a poor string of results in the Apertura 2007. For the Clausura 2008, Monterrey hired Ricardo Lavolpe to be the head coach, and they managed to reach the semi-finals. This team featured new players such as Humberto Suazo and veteran striker Jared Borghetti. However, the next tournament was a poor one for Rayados, as they finished in 14th place. The Vucetich era. In 2009, Monterrey hired coach Victor Manuel Vucetich and formed a team that would become one of the strongest in the league, with an attack led by Humberto Suazo, a new acquisition Aldo de Nigris, a midfield featuring veteran players Luis Ernesto Perez and Jesus Arellano, along with Walter Ayovi, and a defense led by Jose Maria Basanta, Duilio Davino and goalkeeper Jonathan Orozco. They won the third title, the Apertura 2009 tournament, with an aggregate victory of 6-4 against Cruz Azul in the finals. In the next tournament, Humberto Suazo left to play for Spanish club Real Zaragoza, but nonetheless Monterrey managed to finish on top of the table for the first time in the history. However, they would be eliminated in the quarter-finals by Pachuca. Suazo returned to Rayados for the Apertura 2010 tournament, and they managed to win their fourth title when they defeated Santos Laguna in the finals. Although they lost 3-2 in the first leg, they were able to make a comeback and win 3-0 in the second leg, with Humberto Suazo and Jose Basanta scoring 2 and 1 goals respectively, and with an aggregate score of 5-3 they claimed the fourth title. Monterrey secured a place in the 2010-11 CONCACAF Champions League and won the tournament for the first time in the history. They faced Real Salt Lake in the finals and won 3-2 on aggregate to claim their first CONCACAF Champions League title and the third title in the Vucetich era. The following year, they reached the finals of the Clausura 2012 tournament and the 2011-12 CONCACAF Champions League. Both finals were against the same opponent, Santos Laguna. Rayados were seeking to win the fifth fifth league title and the second Champions League title. However, they lost the Clausura 2012 finals against Santos Laguna but won the finals of the Champions League against Santos with an aggregate of 3-2, to claim the second consecutive CONCACAF title. Monterrey reached the finals of the 2012-13 CONCACAF Champions League for the third consecutive time. They faces Santos Laguna in a repeat of the previous finals. They draw 0-0 in the first leg. In the second leg, Santos built a 2-0 lead with goals from Darwin Quintero and former Rayados player Felipe Baloy. However, Monterrey managed to make a dramatic comeback and scored 4 goals, with a brace from Aldo de Nigris, and 2 goals from Humberto Suazo and Nery Cardozo. Monterrey won the third consecutive CONCACAF Champions League title, and the fifth overall title in the Vucetich era. Although they enjoyed tremendous success in the CONCACAF Champions League, they did not return to the following tournament as they could not reach any league finals during the 2012-13 Liga MX season, and thus could not get a chance to try and become the first team to win the tournament 4 times in a row. The club started the 2013-14 season with a lot of changes. Aldo de Nigris left the club to join Chivas and Walter Ayovi joined Pachuca. By now, players like Jesus Arellano and Duilio Davino had retired, and long-time club players like Luis Ernesto Perez had left the club. With the arrival of new players like Orlán Pabón and Leobardo Lopez, Monterrey was ready for the Apertura 2013 tournament. However, a string of poor results and the shock early departure Pabón would prove to be a threat as Monterrey started the tournament poorly, and on August 25, 2013, Rayados announced that Vucetich had stepped down as coach, and thus the Vucetich era, which earned the club a total of 5 titles in 4 years, came to an end. Post-Vucetich struggles, Rayados hired José Guadalupe Cruz to become the new manager of the team, and although they managed to reach the semi-finals of the domestic cup, the Copa MX, they failed to qualify to the playoffs of the Apertura 2013 tournament, and after a bad start to the Clausura 2014, they fired Cruz on February 18, 2014, after only 17 league games coached. Monterrey replaced Cruz with Carlos Barra, who had worked as an assistant coach for Vucetich. Although they failed to reach the playoffs from the second consecutive tournament, the team kept Barra for the 2014-15 season. Colombian striker Orlán Pabón rejoined the team, and with new signings such as Stefan Medina and Pablo Barrera, Monterrey started the Apertura 2014 tournament with high expectations. They managed to secure the 6th place and returned to the playoffs for the first time since Vucetich had managed the club. The club had strike partnership of Orlán Pabón and Humberto Suazo, with Pabón scoring 11 goals. They reached the semi-finals but lost 3-0 in aggregate against the eventual champions Club America in what would prove to be Suazo's last games with the club before returning to Colo-Colo. Suazo had scored over 102 league goals in a 7-year span, and became the all-time top scorer for the club. The team started the Clausura 2015 tournament with a poor form, losing 4 of the first 6 games, and on February 15 the team fired Barra and replaced him with 2-time Liga MX champion Antonio Mohamed, who had led Club America to the championship the previous tournament. Mohamed had played for Rayados during his years as a player. He was part of the squad that managed to avoid relegation in 1999. Monterrey could not qualify to the playoffs, but the club were keen on keeping Mohamed for the 2015-16 season. This season would prove to be a special one as the team were moving to a new home ground, the Estadio BBVA Bancomer. In the summer, Rayados made new signings including midfielder Walter Gargano, striker Rogelio Funes Mori, and re-signed Jose Maria Basanto, who he had left to Italian side Fiorentina after the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Former club veterans Aldo de Nigris and Luis Ernesto Perez also returned to the club. Rayados had a formidable attacking trio of Dorlan Pabon, Rogelio Funes Mori and Edwin Cardona, who had signed with Monterrey during the winter of 2015. They narrowly missed the playoffs of the Apertura 2015 tournament, but their offense was lauded by many as one of the best in the league. Culture. Colors. Since the club's founding in 1945, the colors used by the club have been white and blue, with varied use from the usual stripes. The shade of the blue itself has been in constant change, ranging from navy and cobalt to slightly lighter tones. The third color has also been inconsistent, sometimes presented as being red, orange, cyan, and recently, violet, purple, or green. Rivalry. Rayados's biggest rival is Tigres UANL. This rivalry is called Clásico Regiomontano. Monterrey sells out all of the home games regardless of weather conditions and the team's status. On every Clásico the stadium is sold out as soon as tickets go on sale. Monterrey and Tigres played the first Clásico on the 13th of July 1974 in the Estadio Universitario, with a draw 1-1. Monterrey would be the first team to win the Clásico in the second confrontation 2-1. In the first Clásicos, almost all were played in the Estadio Universitario, estimating almost 70,000 fans attending these games were before the stadium renovation. As of 2012, Tigres and Rayados have won the same amount of games. In 38 years and 95 games of heated rivalry, Rayados and Tigres have won 33 games, tied on 28, and one game was suspended. In addition, there were also another 6 non-official games before the first official Clásico, in 5 of which Rayados were victorious. Fanbase. The city of Monterrey claims to have Mexico's most loyal supporting crowds for their teams, due to the city having the only venues that regularly sell out in the Primera Division. There is a rivalry between the La Adición CF Monterrey support crowd and the Libres y Locos Tigres UANL support crowd each time a Clásico takes place. Los Rayados constantly do their best to not disappoint loyal supporters, who fill the Estadio BBVA Bancomer every 15 days. They have the highest average attendance in 2016. Stadium. Monterrey used to play at Estadio Tecnológico, the second oldest football stadium in Mexico, after Estadio Azul. In July 2015, Monterrey moved to a new stadium called Estadio BBVA Bancomer, located in Guadalupe, Nuevo León, in Greater Monterrey. The new stadium currently has a capacity of 53,500 people. The stadium has similar features of those incorporated within the design of England's Wembley Stadium and the Aviva Stadium in Ireland. The Estadio BBVA Bancomer, designed by Christopher Lev-Populus, started its development on October 2011, and included plans for reforestation and environmental healing for the decaying area that surrounds the construction site. Championships. Monterrey won the third Mexican League Championship title on the night of the 13th of December 2009 at Mexico City's Estadio Azul, facing Cruz Azul in the final. Aldo de Nigris made the first goal of the match, a 1-0 that meant a 5-3 at the moment for CF Monterrey. Later, Cruz Azul had an advantage of making a goal in the second half with a 1-1 draw, by then meaning a 5-4, still favoring the northern squad. Humberto Suazo then took advantage of the field invading the Cruz Azul area then to make the 2-1 definite victory. January, some of the Monterrey Champions squad team members left the team. Among them Felipe Baloy and Humberto Suazo himself. Rayados won the fourth league championship on 5 December 2010 at home, when they defeated Santos Laguna on a 5-3 aggregate, with a remarkable performance by Humberto El Chapit Suazo and Haran Mir, after a consistent high-quality tournament that year. Following it, CF Monterrey became winner of the 2010-11 CONCACAF Champions League on 27 April against Real Salt Lake at the Rio Tinto Stadium in Sandy, Utah, with a 3-2 aggregate score, this being the first international title won by Monterrey coach Victor Manuel Vucetich after a long string of league championships. In 2012, Monterrey performed a back-to-back championship in the 2011-12 CONCACAF Champions League by defeating once again Santos Laguna, this time with at the Estadio TSM Corona in Torreon, by aggregate score of 3-2. The event repeated itself in the 2012-13 CONCACAF Champions League final, defeating Club Santos Laguna one more time at the Estadio Tecnológico after recovering from a 2-goal deficit. Monterrey managed to make a comeback and win the game 4-2, and turning into the tournament's three-time champion. Kit evolution. The original uniform was a shirt that was split diagonally across the chest with blue and white at each side, with white shorts and navy blue socks. In 1955, after winning the second division, the club used a white shirt with two blue lines across the chest. In the 1960s, the club wore a different kit inspired by the one used by Jabo's Tampico Madero, with vertical baby blue lines with white shorts and socks. It was in 1962 when D. Jose Ramon Balana introduced the kit that the club still uses to date, inspired by Asturias FC, a club he had played in Mexico City. Sponsors: past home kits, past away kits. Honors: national competitions, Liga MX. Winners: Mexico 86, Clausura 2003, Apertura 2009, Apertura 2010, Copa Mexico. Winners: 1991 Interliga. Winners: 2010 Segunda División de Mexico. Winners: 1956, 1960 Second Division Super Cup. Winners: 1956 International Competitions CONCACAF Champions League. Winners: 2010-11, 2011-12, 2012-13 CONCACAF Cup Winners' Cup. Winners: 1993 FIFA Club World Cup. Third place: 2012 Friendly Tournaments, 2015 Eusebio Cup. Second place: Trofeo Ciudad de la Línea. Second place: Ciudad de Alicante Trophy. Second place: Ciudad de Jerez Trophy. Los Angeles Nations Cup, 1991. Copa Gobernador de Nuevo León, 1992. Subcampeón del Torneo Río de Rivero, 1995. Subcampeón del Trofeo Ciudad de Santiago de Compostela, 1995. Copa Real, 1995. Copa Movie Star, 2002. International Challenge Cup, 2003. Torneo de Verano Mililite, 2004. Copa Chiapas, 2006. Trofeo Santos Laguna 25 Aniversario, 2008. Chicago Mayor's Cup, 2009. Copa 100 Anos de la UNAM, 2010. Players. First team squad. Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. For recent transfers, see List of Mexican football transfers summer 2016. Out on loan. Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Reserve teams: Monterrey Premier reserve team that plays in the Segunda division in the third level of the Mexican league system. Top scorers: Simbologia, FMF, Liga MX, Copa MX, Con, Copa, Liga de Campeones de la CONCACAF, Recopa de la CONCACAF, CWC, Copa Mundial de Clubes de la FIFA, INL. Interliga. Most appearances. Players in bold are currently active with Club de Fútbol Monterrey. Does not count appearances in international competitions. Managers.